Welcome to have, we're really our privilege to have you here on All Flavors Radio. And it's wonderful because I know, thank you, Bella Ara, first off, for the introduction. And Maali Kentake and Dr. Owens Moore, it's all related to the Blueprint for Pigment Power Conference. And better than me saying anything, firstly, maybe Maali, you can tell us a little bit about yourself, please.
Well, after being in the corporate world and educational system for over 40 years, I decided to retire early because of the special journey I went in and understanding the need that our community has for education and knowing who we are, especially in the Spanish-speaking community, because there is not that much information out there in Spanish. And so I decided to do something about it. And so I created the YouTube channel, Ubuntu El Retorno, to be able to share that information with the Spanish-speaking community as far as the history that has been kept from us for such a long time, and all the other information that things that are happening within our community nowadays, and so on. So being the need for that, then, that's what I decided to do. So that's what I'm doing right now.
And it's wonderful that you're speaking about Spanish speaking. And also, when I went onto the first YouTube, it was all in Spanish. I thought, but then you sent me the other one, which is fantastic. But it's wonderful that, so you're really experienced in the spirituality and ancient cultures. You said it says over 15 years, but also the origins of humanity in Africa and their civilizations to East and West and native cultures. So yes. Is that just like summarizing what you do?
Yes. Yeah. That actually was the experience that really made me think about my roots. And it took me all the way back to Africa, the motherland. And although I haven't been there physically, it's like my heart is there, full stop.
Absolutely.
So I'm really grateful for that. Yes.
Yeah. And this is it, isn't it? Sometimes it's inherently natural within us that we yearn to be in these places, but then it's kind of in us already. But it's nice when we physically go to somewhere. But like it says there as well, you've travelled around the world too. So maybe Dr. Moore, can we get an understanding of who you are?
Yes, that would be an excellent starting point. I'm a scholar, research activist. I have written some books on melanin, primarily something called The Science of Melanin, Dark Matter, Dark Secrets, Pigment Power. So I've been writing on this topic about identity and the science of our bodies and our minds for several years. I am an academic professor. I've been in the Atlanta University Center for almost 30 years. I'm currently the chairperson of the Department of Psychology at Clark Atlanta University. So it's an opportunity for me to now be on your fantastic program called All Flavors Radio. If you think about it, here I'm in North America, your programs, they're in the UK, and Maali's from Dominican Republic. We've got all this flavor.
It's amazing.
That's what we need to start doing, bringing that flavor together. That's why Maali has been on this journey of identity, and she happened across my books and was enamored about the information, and she reached out to me. And as we were conversing and having discussions, and another comrade from Puerto Rico named Ben Figueroa is a technical man, we all got together, and I said I wanted to have a conference called Blueprint for Pigment Power, focused on, if you've heard of Amos Wilson, he wrote a book called Blueprint for Black Power. Oh my goodness, about 800 pages of documented information about what we need to do to get ourselves together. So I just told them about this idea. They said, well, let's do it. Uh-oh. They said, let's do it. That means we have to now put a program together. So now we have organized an opportunity to bring people together for Black History Month in February for North America. And it'll be at the New Black Wall Street in Stonecrest, Georgia. Why New Black Wall Street? Because we have a individual named Bill Allen who created this opportunity for us to have vendors and have speaking engagements and having restaurants and all in our community run by us. We had this before.
Yes.
How do we create it again? So I wanted to have this conference at a venue where we have us being honored and respected and studying us. It's about us at this point. We can't worry about anybody else coming to save us. So that's who I am.
I love that, and we always, even on the show here, the FUBU, for us and by us, we always advocate for that. And the fact that you've got this conference coming up, you've told us where it is, and I do have the information, but then you can tell the listeners as well what, kind of things you're going to be talking about. And in you saying that about, you've got that Black Wall Street, because we know that there was one before. And do you want to tell us a little bit, maybe some of our listeners might not know about places like Tuskegee, is that what you were referring to, and also Black Wall Street, right?
You're right. So that's Tulsa, Oklahoma, back in the 1920s with the, can't even call it a riot, but white people who were fearing Black people having access to knowledge, information, and economics. It's a threat to people who are fearful of others. A lot of Europeans have this xenophobic mentality where they're scared of strangers, scared of other people. Black people just want to have their own communities. From Rosewood, Florida to Tulsa, Oklahoma, we had our own in the past, and they were destroyed by these paranoid white psychopaths. There's no different than what's going on today in the United States government, where they're creating policies to eradicate our human and civil rights. It's almost like reverse politics. So we must have an environment that we can now talk about what are we going to do. Can't wait on anybody else. So we're going to talk about health, finance, self-defense, education. All those are components that will be a part of our conference for the workshops during the day. In the evening, we're going to honor some of the scholars that have been at the forefront. When I say scholars at the forefront, I mean they're living legends. How many people have passed and gone on and we don't know who they are anymore? How many people have passed on and we didn't acknowledge them when they were here? So I wanted to honor the scholars who have been at the forefront of talking about science and melanin and history. If you heard of Charles Finch, he wrote a book called Star of the Deep Beginnings, also Echoes of the Old Dark Land. One of his most recent books called Nile Valley Civilization. He's like a medical doctor who's like the modern day Imhotep. I want to honor him. He's still living. Jewel Pookrum, if you ever heard of her. Jewel Pookrum is a medical doctor who's been studying fibroids over the years, but she has escalated her research to study like brain balancing programs. She had a Jewel Network series. She created a university called Jewel University, I think, for Intermortal Sciences. I mean, these are people that are still here trying to reach our people. Bruce Bynum, have you ever heard of Bruce Bynum? He wrote a book called The African Unconscious. The African Unconscious. I mean, he explores and goes deep into the history of African people and explores why it's important for us today to look at this continuum. Dark light consciousness, melanin. I mean, he's at the forefront of talking about melanin studies. Along with Bruce Bynum, there's a brother and sister named Ann Brown. We have a co-authored book called Why Darkness Matters, The Power of Melanin in the Brain. She is also retired from Medgar Evers College. I wanted to honor her for her contribution to our programs. Kaba Kameni, I don't know if you know of him, but he wrote a book called Carbon for Melanin. He respects my work. I respect his work. Guess what? We got to honor each other. He's still living. He's still here. Amazing. Tony Browder. Perhaps you heard of Tony Browder, but Tony Browder wrote Nile Valley Civilizations. No, Nile Valley Contributions to Civilization. It's the Institute for Karmic Guidance in D.C. He has the only Black excavation site in Africa.
Wow.
Karakamu. A Black man. They're excavating the tombs of our ancestors from the 25th dynasty. I know you over there in England know about Robin Walker and When We Ruled, right? Well, Tony Browder is on that level. So we're talking about honoring these people. Hunter Adams, he's like astrophysicist, neuroscientist, who was very important for telling us about the Dogon people in Africa and how they explored what we need to know about our connection to the universe. So those are the types of people we're going to be honoring. And then on the evening of Saturday, we're going to have a musical performance by Musiki Scales and the Common Ground Collective, an African hip-hop, jazz, New Orleans kind of style flavor. Have you ever heard of Fela from Nigeria, who had some...
You're schooling me right now.
London. Right, so we're going to he's going to be having a band that plays that type of music. So we'll celebrate at the end of our conference. But again, it's about bringing us together to see Black people at their own venue doing their own thing.
So I just wanted to ask a question, because you spoke about, and that is absolutely amazing, mind-blowing, and I want to be there. Like, literally, you're teaching me a lot now just being on this call. But you spoke of the government and how we know what they did prior to this. Yes. We've had the Black Panthers, and so, Booker T. Washington, all these ones that went before us to try and build something for our community. Do you think, or it might come about that the government kind of take away from us again? Do you think that's going to ever happen?
Well, if you know about the Sahel states, they're in Africa, where the Ibrahim Traore started it off and got the Niger folks involved, the Mali people involved, Chad's involved. They told the Europeans, the French, get out. If you're not working with us, get out. In the past, Idi Amin told the Israelis and the Indians who were exploiting them as merchants, get out. Africa for the Africans. Marcus Garvey said, what? Africa for the Africans. Even though Marcus Garvey never made it to Africa, he was still what? Africa for the Africans. Until we speak that, think that, and practice that, we won't win.
Yeah.
So we're at that stage of the game right now where you see in Africa, there's no reason why the white man from America should be over there targeting Nigerians and killing Nigerians. Right. That's about oil. You see it in the media right now. They're over there killing African people. So we have to protect this situation because that's around the Sahel states. We have to be very aware of what's going on a global level. That's why I appreciate your All Flavors Radio, because you're trying to bring us all together from different perspectives to understand this. You could be on one side of the earth and not know what's happening on the other side of the earth. What's happening down there in Venezuela is a problem for African people.
Yeah, and
we have to pay attention to that.
Yeah.
So the Blueprint for Pigment Power Conference is about making people aware, because I don't think that we're going to lose again. The reason why we're being attacked, because those people are losing again.
Brilliant.
Be together.
It's time. Is that time that, again, because we were always together, but somehow have become divided by whatever means they've used. But
absolutely,
we know that it is that time for us to connect and be stronger than ever. And it's wonderful, wonderful thing that you're doing. So, Sister Maali, is there a part of it for the women as well, that because women have done a lot in regards to our community as well? So is that the side that you take on from the spiritual aspect?
May I say something? Yes. May I just add something to what you were saying just now? And it's regards the Black Panthers and the Young Lords. Back in the 60s, both the Latin community and the African American community were trying to come and unify, and we're talking about also the Afro-Latinos, what we call them, and they were trying to unify. And again, like you said, they were divided, and boy, have they kept us divided. So again, we're trying to unite again, because they recognize the power that we have when we come together as one community. And nowadays there's more support out there, because now we hear about the BRICS and how they're coming together also and forming another coalition. So it's not like, we're so alone like we were like 40, 50 years ago. So I think that there's a lot of opportunity and a good chance that this time around it's going to be more difficult to be able to try to divide us. And so we will continue, no matter what, to make sure that we are united. And if not me today, then somebody, we will leave that legacy of unity so that those young people that are coming up will also sustain that. And that's one of the things that we're also doing in the conference. It's we're bringing in and inviting the youth so that we can pass the baton to them. So that's very important. And as far as the women are concerned, Dr. Moore just mentioned some of the ladies that are going to be honored that evening for the work that they have done. And we have so many of them that, I mean, some of them or a lot of them already passed, and that's what we don't want. We want to make sure that they receive their flowers before they leave us. And so the opportunity that we have today as women, as far as I can see, is that we can be used for both uplifting of our people, or the upliftment of our people, and the destruction of our people. We see today that they use us, especially the women, because once they know that we're a bit more vulnerable than men. And so they usually take advantage of that. And I just want us to make sure that we understand the strategies that they're using against us. If you look at now in the what's going on in the moment in the news, you have Nicki Minaj, and so she's going around now representing, it quotes, black women. But the reality is that she is going against us.
It's not really
and
the
those
blueprint.
Are things that we have to be aware of that. And then they take away to the UN. Here's a black woman that is being, she says, and they say she's representing us, and yet what she's really doing is practically stabbing us on the back. And if we don't recognize those hints, if we don't recognize what's happening out there, and it's happening globally, because once she goes to the UN, it's like her voice goes out globally. And so we have to be aware as women. I mean, we are those that bring forth life. And so we also sustain and nurture that life in our homes. And wherever we are, we don't have to be mothers. We are mothers by nature. So even our nephews, our nieces, our neighbors, we nurture them as well. So that's something that we have to reconsider as black women today, and be able to retake, may I say, our power. They have been stripped away from us, and they have done whatever they want, and they want to portray us as a sexual tool.
Object, yeah.
And are allowing all that. But it's time for us to be able to at least sit down, observe what's going around us and what's trying to destroy me personally, and then my family, and then my neighbors, and that circle continues to expand outward to our community. And so it can be the most strongest tool that our community might have out there. If you go to the history of Haiti, it was the women. If you go to any history, even in Argentina, where today they have practically eradicated all the African or Afro-descendant people, yet it was an Argentina Afro woman that delivered the revolution to the Argentinians. You see, so we have to acknowledge the power that we have, and we have to take possession of that power. and not just take possession, but act on it.
Excellent. And it's quite interesting. Sorry. I was going to say,
This is our time.
yeah, it's quite interesting because I'm noted that Dr. Moore as well, that the whole conference is based on the blueprint for power. And there's a point there that I saw when you spoke about melanin dominant people worldwide, that you're going to equip them with a blueprint for a plan of action. And it's quite interesting. And I chose this question tonight for a reason. Why does the racial wealth gap still exist? And what can be done to close it? It kind of links up a little bit with that blueprint and the plan. So can you explain a little bit more about that for us?
Well, we were concerned about having this online because people don't need to know what the blueprint is.
Okay,
See, when
I hear
you
you.
putting your message out there in the forefront, then the enemy is there in front of you, knowing what they need to do to counteract.
Yes.
So we got to be careful about that. We will have an opportunity potentially for those to be streaming it online, like you're there in England, the UK, and so we would like to have people over the world to be here and here, but we have to be careful about how it is that we're surveilled. This is real.
Yes.
So the fact that we'll speak about self-defense, if you can't defend yourself, you're not going to be protected. If you don't have your own educational system, you're not going to have the information you need. If you can't financially control your resources, you're in trouble. So why do we need to have them, that is the enemy, knowing what we're going to do that?
Yeah. And the funny thing, it's very true. And I never even thought about that. So kudos. And I've seen things where even here, we were talking about it just yesterday, that we have our money in these banks, which are not our own banks. And they're asking you go in and you want to take out a certain amount, and they ask you, well, what are you going to use it for? But that's my money. I use it for whatever I want to use it for. So we're getting in that bit of a conundrum there, and also going over to digital currency as well. So I fully understand when you say about keeping it under wraps, because
But we certainly will form a community. We want to have a monograph, something that will be in place, but still, we don't want to have the enemy ahead of us. We need to be ahead of the enemy.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So it's really down to us to kind of be there, right?
Yes. And I like to say, when you asked about the woman component, this wouldn't be going on if it wasn't for Maali and Ubuntu El Returno, because she has the website and she has the organizational state the capacity to make this work. It is the women who sometimes are the ones that are doing the organizing. You know what I mean? So without her and her opportunity to have the emphasis to say, let's just do this, a lot of people don't put things into action. So much respect for her as a woman, finding herself and now helping others. So again, it's on display right here.
So can you please repeat us again then? Because obviously we know that there is this blueprint for power, and you're going to be having lots of different workshops in this conference. And just remind us of the date again.
It'll be February 6th and February 7th. 6th is the Friday, Saturday is the 7th, and it'll be during Black History Month in North America. I'm not sure if you all have Black History Month in the UK. You probably don't have it in other countries like that, but for here, the reason why it's in Black History Month, or why there is a Black History Week and month in the United States, is because Carter G. Woodson, who wrote the book called The Miseducation of the Negro, wanted to have a time to celebrate during a period where there were two birthdays. One was Frederick Douglass, the other was Abraham Lincoln. February. That's the reason why it's in February, not because it's the coldest month of the year in North America.
It's in October.
He is an African or Black historian, one to honor those who were talking about abolition and getting rid of slavery. So we're doing it during that time period, and again having it at a venue that's been resurrected called the New Black Wall Street. Black Wall Street was not here in the east side of America. In the South, it was actually in Tulsa, but we have Auburn Avenue used to be here in Atlanta, Georgia. You have many places that have been great foundations for Black people in the United States, but they've been dismantled because of gentrification and the way that the society constructs where they don't want Black people being able to survive. So It'll be at that venue, and easy parking, easy eating, lodging close by. So we're trying to make it convenient for the people who are able to come, and then for those that are wanting to do it via internet, we'll do our best to get the technology. I respect what you do, because it's not easy pushing those buttons and having all these different people communicate.
Yeah.
So we're going to do our best to have it. If you cannot make it, we'll certainly have it so you'll be able to log in.
It sounds so good. It sounds so good. So we got a couple of months. Well, it's the beginning of February.
Just weeks, not months. Weeks.
Yeah. Our History Month is in October, so maybe we can invite some of you over and we do something here. You never know. But definitely, we will definitely put it out there. So beautiful listeners that can go along. So I'll get hold of all of the rightful information and put it into the chat box. And there was a number that I saw, but I don't know if I posted it into the chat, into my notes. But I will definitely share that as well, and be sure to share it on my social media platforms as well, because it's something, when you're looking at Blueprint, it's like the foundation, right? Hello?
Yeah, I didn't hear that question. It broke up on us.
Yes.
So it broke.
Okay, so when you're looking at the Blueprint, it's like the foundation, isn't it? So it's something that
Correct.
we all need to kind of be aware of, or somehow have advantage of getting to see and hear what's going on. Will you be coming?
Absolutely. Like I said, the foundation is Amos Wilson. If you ever take a peek and find his books, his lectures, he's written on the developmental psychology of the Black child. He's written on the falsification of African consciousness. He's written on black violence. I mean, the brother is heavy. He passed away in the mid-'90s, but his magnus opus, his significant book, Blueprint for Black Power, is so great. And we don't acknowledge the work that he put in. So this is about, again, looking at the foundational scholars that have provided us with a groundwork for us to win. Because right now, we're in trouble.
Yeah.
We see it worldwide. So
Yeah.
if we don't work together, we're not going to win. We have to get us to be connected. And I actually have to leave this call to go deliver some books to England, Gloucestershire. Was it Gloucestershire?
Gloucestershire.
Gloucestershire. Yes,
Yeah.
I have a book order across the ponds.
Wow.
You know?
But even that, though, Dr. Moore, like the price of postage, because obviously we call him Wig, but Mr. Donald, he's even put the prices of even mailing something out to extortionate prices. So how are you going to be able to manage doing that if you had lots of orders?
Well, I'm going to the post office right now to look at different costs, because it was elevated on the internet website. So there are ways around it. That's why I'm saying we need to maybe have our own phone services.
Yes.
We need to have our own internet. We need to have our own
Mail.
social media services.
Yeah.
Yep, all that. And if we don't do that, we're not going to survive. So the Blueprint is about preparing for all those types of things.
Yeah.
You have a brother over there named Leon Marshall, who has the Hidden Academy Sciences.
Oh, okay, I don't know.
Yeah, he's in London, I believe, but he has respected my work and wrote my work and his work. But he's over there doing the same things that we're doing right here. The Hidden Academy of Sciences, Leon Marshall. Good brother.
I'm going to write that in here, so I can try and research him.
Yeah, we can send you the information so you can contact him.
Yeah, that'd
but
be
my point
fantastic.
is that many people like yourself are in Mali and are doing it from different parts of the world, but we need to be together doing it.
Yes, yeah. So it's the connectivity which is really important, and just the spreading of the word. I think word of mouth is a thing that has worked forever. So
Yes.
that's the way that we go, really, isn't it? And then take it from there. I'm going to so it's Georgia Atlanta that you're hosting the conference. Is it Georgia Atlanta that you're hosting the conference?
Oh, so it's going into Atlanta, Georgia. So this is on like the east side of Atlanta, Georgia, the place called Stonecrest, Georgia. It's a location where you have a high concentration of African Americans that live there. DeKalb County is pretty much the second richest, probably concentration of black people outside of Prince George's County in Maryland. Things may have changed because a lot of people are moving in the southern section of the United States now. So yes, flying to Atlanta, and it's only about 25 minutes away from the Atlanta.
Oh, brilliant.
Proper.
So there's hotels near the airport and everything as well, right?
Absolutely. Airport, but right there near the venue, there's we're having the host hotel will be Hilton Garden Inn there at Stonecrest, but there's 3 other hotels nearby, so it's really, really, really convenient.
Brilliant. And I have just seen your information there. So is it www.ubuntueltorono? You said it so lovely, Maali.
ubuntueltorono.com.
Yeah.
/ DPTC.
I've posted that into the chat box in at All Flavors, but I will also be sharing it on all of my social media platforms. And likewise, listeners, please come along to the chat room so that you can access these resources and be in it, because it just sounds absolutely amazing. I'm going to try my best to be there. Seriously.
Oh, great. And you know, Wimbo, one of the things that we say is that although we are in different cultures and we speak different languages, and I mean, they have succeeded in keeping us divided, because really, you know, to have us with different cultures, different languages in different places, that has been a weakness for us. However, we come and we say that this melanin pigment is what's going to unite us as one people.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter the language that we speak, we're going to break down all those barriers, languages, cultures, etc., and we're going to bring it to one, which is the pigment, melanin.
And that's beautiful, because, you know, when we travel, if you travel to Africa, I know you've travelled, you're both well travelled, but the way that you're welcomed, it's like you're home, you know? And they just bring you in regardless, and the love is what covers over everything. And I think that is, that is the cornerstone, isn't it? That love of each other.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
The unity, united, that's when the issue's going to begin for those that don't want us united.
Yeah. But we're really working towards that, and that is the most beautifulest thing. And thank you so much, both of you, for coming on. I'm hoping to get another interview with you. We'll do a nice video interview, and we can really thrash it out a little bit longer. And obviously there are certain things that you've spoken of that, it's nice to let's just do the promotion and the ad to get people there. And then probably thereafter, we can have a really good discussion. Yeah.
Thank you for your time and your helping to expose what we're doing. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for coming on. The resources are there in the chat box.